Hi, everybody. It's great to have you all here with us today for this first and very special BRIGHTskills webinar. My name is Evelyn Donohoe. I'm a Senior Project Manager at Wise Angle, who is leading the Communications and Dissemination Work Package. And without further ado, I'm going to pass you over to our wonderful project leader, Katja, who is a Programme Manager with EITH Health, and she's going to kick off this lunchtime webinar session.
Thanks very much, Evelyn, and also a warm welcome from my side to all the participants. So yeah, thanks, Georgia. So BRIGHTskills, what is it? It's a 4-year Erasmus Plus Blueprint funded project which aims to equip current and future healthcare health industry professionals with the capabilities required for a sustainable, innovative, and resilient healthcare system. So through collaboration between industry, academia, and policy actors, BRIGHTskills is focusing on the 4 subsectors of the health industry, which you can see on the slide. So pharma and biomanufacturing, medtech, digital health, and medical supplies. Next slide, please. So the main reason for the launch of the project, I think, will be known to a lot of you who are joining us today, but it was, of course, to respond to the growing and yet also very well known mismatch between the skills available in the health industry and the competences needed to thrive in a rapidly transforming sector. So we have, of course, things like the COVID-19 pandemic still needing to be mentioned, digitalization, the green, the twin transition, so green and digital, which are all highlighting gaps in technical, regulatory, and transversal skills across the health industry ecosystem. Next slide, please. So the foundation for the project were developed in conversation with members of what we refer to as the Skills Partnership for the European Health Industry, which since its creation in December 2026, now proudly counts 47 members. And the membership of the BRIGHTskills Project Consortia is a subgroup of these 47 organizations, which you see their logos shown on the screen here. But ultimately, of course, the relationship between the project and the partnership is that we want to continue to ensure that the project remains grounded in industry realities. So by involving representatives of the ecosystem directly in both the skills mapping, which you'll hear more about today, training design, validation activities. We hope that this will help anticipate real change rather than just reacting to the incoming changes. Next slide. So a little bit more broadly in terms of the context, of course, recent European strategies. And here we can talk about the AI Act, the EU Life Sciences and Industrial Strategies, the Green Deal, the report on European competitiveness, our redefining how companies operate and what competencies their workforces require. So we have the need to navigate new legislative frameworks, so from MDR, EHDS, the AI Act, which I already mentioned, and needing to integrate these new technologies into their workforce. So BRIGHTskills hopes that by supporting this transformation and translating policy priorities into concrete skills frameworks and training solutions, we will be helping employees and employers stay compliant, innovative, and also adaptable. Next slide. So just shortly, some of the project objectives. We will conduct forward-looking analysis to identify emerging job profiles and future skills needed across the 4 subsectors, combining literature reviews, large-scale surveys, interviews, and other foresight methods, which will ensure that the other objectives we have, namely creating new training program, designing and developing new training programs, promoting long-term employability, and like mentioned before, continuing to work together with the skills partnership for that this will create a responsive and resilient healthcare system. Next slide, please. So then my first call to action in this webinar would be that if you are interested in what we just mentioned, then please do get in touch if you want to hear more about both the project and the skills partnership. Back to you, Evelyn.
Thank you very much, Katja. I'm now going to pass the floor over to Alberto Baldi, who is a senior manager of European projects with CEBR. So over to you, Alberto.
Thank you very much, Evelyn. Good morning, everyone. I'm very pleased to be here today to give you a short overview of Work Package 2 of the BRIGHTskills project, which is entitled Needs Assessment and Skills Intelligence. Our goal in this work package is quite clear. It's not simple, but it's quite clear. We aim to build a comprehensive understanding of current and future skills needs in the health industry, and to make sure that training and education offers are truly aligned with what the sector requires. As it has been already said by Katja, we focus on 4 key subsectors of the health industry: pharma and biomanufacturing, including biotech, of course, medtech, digital health, and medical supplies. In this work package, CEBR, which is the Council of European Bioregions, the European Association of Life Sciences Clusters, acts as coordinator and is supported by excellent task leaders such as EITH Business School, Polytechnic University of Valencia, MEDTRONIC, and the University of Galway. Next slide, please. If you let me briefly walk through the main activities of this work package. So first of all, we are analyzing the main skill gaps and unmet needs in each of the 4 subsectors. Second, we are reviewing existing training materials and open education resources in order to map what is already available and identify areas where new content or new approaches are needed. Then we are starting from January 26, we will work to develop a future skills observatory, which will use foresight and AI tools in order to anticipate emerging skills and job profiles. This will lead to what we call Skills Outlook 2035, which is going to be one of the flagship outputs of this work package. We messed up a little bit with the slides. I think I completed the presentation. Okay, we can stay on this one. This one is about the activities and the tools that we are going to use. So in order to gather these insights, we are combining different sources of evidence. We started with a broad review of scientific and grey literature in order to understand how skills needs are evolving across the health industry. And then in parallel, we are currently carrying out a large-scale field study involving a dedicated online survey, interviews, and focus groups with key stakeholders from companies, universities, and training providers. This combination of different tools and sources allows us to identify emerging skills and validate the most relevant trends, and to ensure that our findings are both reliable and grounded into practice. This is our goal. Next slide, please. Now, why this matters for healthcare companies and stakeholders, in particular educators and policymakers. For companies, this work is able to provide a clear picture of current and future skills priorities. It is going to help them align training programs with innovation and market needs and support better recruitment, retention, and workforce reskilling. At the same time, it offers access to European-level evidence and recommendation, which are going to be useful for shaping long-term HR and innovation strategies. For educators and policymakers, in parallel, BRIGHTskills and Work Package 2 activities are going to offer guidance to adapt curricula and funding priorities to the needs of the sector. It is going to create an evidence-based for new training and reskilling initiatives and promote stronger collaboration between education, research, and industry. Finally, it provides tools to anticipate new professional profiles to start education system so that education systems can prepare for the future instead of reacting to it. And this echoes the words that Katja already said. So in short, BRIGHTskills helps the healthcare community anticipate change rather than simply responding to it. And that's the core of this work package, building the knowledge and foresight that we need today to prepare for the workforce of tomorrow. Thank you very much. That's it for my presentation.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Alberto, for that very informative and enlightening presentation. With that, I'm now going to pass the floor over to Marta Alba Perez, who is a business consultant with MEDTRONIC and also a partner of the BRIGHTskills project, and she's currently leading a subtask within Work Package 2. So over to you, Marta.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. As Evelyn just said, MEDTRONIC is the leader of the field study that is still ongoing, and I am here today to share with all of you the preliminary results got it so far. Through a series of actions, including online surveys, interviews with key opinion leaders, interactive workshops, and other type of engagement activities, we have successfully gathered over 200 responses. This robust participation provides valuable insights into the most relevant topics and, of course, highlights emerging trends that are shaping critical skills. Next slide, please. This slide gives us an overview of who has participated in the survey so far and the diversity of respondents we have collected. First, the type of companies. The majority of respondents up to now come from medtech companies, which represent 53% of the sample. Next, the profiles of the respondents. We have balanced mix between mid-level professionals, executives, and also senior experts. But also we have contributors from junior professionals and career starters, which really adds value on the emerging talent needs. Related to the company size, most responses come from large companies, but also we have input from companies like small or micro enterprises. And finally, geographic coverage. Spain stands out as the country with the highest participation, followed by Italy, France, and Ireland. This diversity of sectors, roles, companies ensures that our findings reflect a broad and representative view of the healthcare industry. Next slide, please. Going into the details of the findings, I will start with the industry challenge that are captured in this slide. At the center, big words, we see rapid technological change. So innovations are accelerating and organization really needs to adapt faster than ever. Digitalization and artificial intelligence are transforming everything from diagnostics to manufacturing, while personalized medicine is redefining patient care and requiring new skill sets in data science and genomics. But technology is not the only driver. We are also facing changing legal frameworks, evolving healthcare models, and increasing demands for safety and compliance. And on top of that, raising cost, of course, put additional pressure on organizations to optimize processes and workforce efficiency. Next slide, please. This slide summarizes the key findings from our analysis on skills and competencies in the healthcare sector. First, let's look at the skills and job profiles in demand. So there is a strong need for professionals who can bridge technical expertise such as data science, engineering, and artificial intelligence with the other side, which is the healthcare knowledge, including clinical and patient journey understanding. Areas like R&D, IT, and digitalization are, of course, particularly critical. Among the top roles, we see high demand for project managers and also for data engineers. And beyond skills, technical skills, soft skills such as communication, conflict resolution, and leadership are becoming essential. Next, emerging trends and future needs. AI integration, of course, is moving into daily practice, creating new roles like AI managers, AI coordinators, and chief data officers. Evolving revolutions mean continuous upskilling, and critical thinking, of course, will be necessary. You also see growing specialization in areas like AI applications, clinical trials, and also digital health. Finally, the competences organizations need to focus on these 5 key areas, which are data literacy and analytics, green health practices, readiness for digital transformation, regulatory fluency, and entrepreneur and leadership mindset. These are the capabilities that will define competitiveness in the coming years. Next slide, please. This slide focuses on how training should be designed to meet the needs of the industry. So first, be flexible and practical. Stakeholders clearly prefer formats like workshops, boot camps, and also mentoring or coaching sessions. Combining in-person and online trainings is also key to provide engagement and also flexibility, which is really critical for the busy professionals. Second, innovative pedagogical approaches. We are seeing a strong interest in the methods that make learning more adaptive, and simulations and based tools are also critical. These help learners practice in realistic scenarios and also build confidence. The different things like role play are similar interactive formats, also valuable because they bridge theory and practice by keeping the understanding and motivation. And finally, barriers and enablers. The main barriers are the time, of course, and also limited budget. On the other hand, barriers and enablers is the desire for growth. People really want to develop and improve their skills and really stay up to date in their field, of course. Next slide, please. I would like to stop here and take a moment to really understand why this survey is not just another type of survey. It is really a strategic opportunity for all of us in the health industry. So BRIGHTskills is, as Katja was explaining, is part of the Pact for Skills, and this survey is a key tool to make sure that the voices of the real stakeholders, like all of you, are taken into consideration. So if you participate, really is helping us to identify the current gaps that companies like MEDTRONIC or other companies and also training providers need to address. Next slide, please. So how you can collaborate in the survey and in this field study. So first, complete and share the survey. You can access through this query code. And second, please engage in the different interviews that we are performing, or even in the different focus groups and the different workshops that we are going to do in the near future. These sessions really allow us to deep dive into the challenge and also deep dive in the needs and co-create future solutions, future trainings that truly reflect the industry realities. And finally, please support in the dissemination. Really, I would like to that you help us to spread the words within your networks so we can reach as many stakeholders as possible. So please, this is the call to action for you. As is written here, please be part of this process. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Marta. Somebody just asked in the chat, how long is the survey open to? Would you be able to tell the audience that?
Yeah, so from the beginning, we stopped more or less in these months, but it will be open because we are seeing that more and more responses are into the survey. So this will be open until the end of the year.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. And I just want to open the floor to two other partners. We have the privilege of joining us today. So our first partner is Natalie Walsh, who is the Director of Entrepreneurial Development at University of Galway. Natalie has experience of developing similar courses in Ireland. And to Natalie, I just want to ask you for the audience interest, can you tell us about Ireland's experience about developing these courses? What pitfalls did you encounter? And looking back, what is the best way to address those pitfalls?
Hi, Evelyn. Thanks for the question. Lovely to join you all today. So I think we've had a national micro-credentials framework since 2022. So we're a little bit further along in terms of our learning and I suppose the reflection piece. So what we've noticed is, I suppose, in the national landscape, at the start in particular, there was a lot of fragmentation and duplication. And I think particularly in the earlier days, we now have a national site where everything is housed to make it easy for learners to kind of identify programs that align both geographically and from a skills perspective to their needs. I think the industry engagement gap was also there in terms of fit for purpose and making sure that we were working hand in glove with industry to design and deliver initiatives that were meeting their skills gaps needs. And then things like the administrative burden of kind of short courses being almost equivalent to applying for your degree or your master's. And then obviously there's the awareness and adoption because these types of learnings were new and it is a culture shift. So I think what those kind of challenges helped us to kind of look at, and I think we're definitely seeing the value of this in the BRIGHTskills project, is kind of looking at this from a European perspective and being interoperable in terms of our approach. I think, you know, the work that Alberto and Marta and the rest of the team are doing around that skills intelligence and data gathering to make sure everything we do in BRIGHTskills is fit for purpose, be it emerging or urgent skills needs, that we're taking both a short and a long-term view on skills development. And then I think how we bring that to life through our digital platform to make it easy for learners to navigate opportunities and select the right opportunity for them. I think they're definitely key things that BRIGHTskills will achieve that will make it easier for industry to develop their skills in a way that aligns with their needs.
Okay, perfect. Just coming to you, Professor Vincent Travers. So just for the audience, Professor Travers is Professor of Biomedical and Digital Health at UPV. I'm sure he's going to correct me in a minute because I might have gotten a letter wrong in the acronym. But Professor Travers, we heard that there's also a literature scoping review on industry skills needs underway. Why is it important to have information from healthcare companies themselves, considering that you're also doing this desk-based research?
Thanks, Evelyn, for your question. That's a very good one, and yes, you are right. A literature scoping review on the healthcare industry would be incomplete if we don't have direct input from the companies themselves. So while academic literature provides a foundational understanding, corporate sources are essential for different reasons. That's why we are just also collecting information from great literature that's being produced by companies or related clusters. And I would say 4 major reasons. First one would be just to identify real-time and practical needs. So the primary goal is to bridge the gap between the educational programs and the actual skills employers are seeking. So, I mean, healthcare companies are on the front line of innovation and market changes. So that's something that we have to be there. The second is just to move beyond high-level concepts to specific competencies. Academic research and literature review is identifying some trends like the growing importance of AI or regulatory. However, companies can provide the necessary detail of granularity or what this means in practice, because it's not the same for a marketing role or for a specialist role, no? The same applies for AI. It's not the same the use of AI and the skills and the knowledge that we have to provide for a lab technician that for a data scientist that's in building machine learning models. No? Third is also this engagement and this literature, this conversation with the companies is also to understand the required proficiency levels. No, it's not just what skills are needed, but also how proficient an employee needs to be, and that's also depending on the roles of the companies that they are playing. And also just to gather both quantitative and quantitative data, no? Because this engagement with the companies give us some information about the context and also some quantitative information, no? About the volume of demand and how to do it, no? So in summary, at the end, if we are combining this great literature with the scoping review, guarantees that the analysis, the results are not theoretically sound, but also are practical, timely, and relevant to the industry most pressing challenges in the healthcare sector.
Okay, great. And of course, the last thing you want to do is develop courses that don't fit the needs of the companies. Yeah, exactly. So I don't see any questions from the chat, and I realize that we're coming to the end of our session. So first of all, I want to thank all of our speakers for joining us here today, especially for Natalie and Vincente for joining us at the last minute and giving us your expert insights too. That's really been great. Secondly, I want to encourage everybody to spread the survey as widely as possible, speak about the project, because I know sometimes it might be onerous to do this, but also we also like to procrastinate a little bit, and it only takes 5 minutes of your time, so don't hesitate to divert some of that, what I like to call productive procrastination into the survey. And lastly, I'm going to wish you all a very nice lunch and a very lovely weekend. And with that, thank you all very much for joining us, and hopefully we will see you all soon at another BRIGHTskills event. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks very much.
Bye, take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.